A powerhouse showdown in Papillion, Nebraska features the high-flying Owls of Union Omaha hosting the Pacey Jacks, otherwise known as the Charlotte Independents. Welcome one and all to this Wednesday fixture between two playoff sides. My name is Mark Schoenstert. As we take a peek at the standings, we welcome you in from wherever you're watching from. These standings brought to you by Autism Action Partnership. Whether you be an Omaha fan who couldn't make the match, a Charlotte fan watching from home, or just an interested League One bystander, welcome you all in one and the same. As you see, an X by both these teams' names. They have both locked in a spot into the playoffs this season. Now they're just looking to get the best seeding they could possibly acquire by the time the season ends next weekend. Now, when it comes to the success both these teams have acquired, Omaha, of course, have been on one heck of a streak recently. 10 games that they won in a row. They drew last game. That still means 11 games unbeaten. Worth noting, before that streak started, they were 6-5-7. They had more draws than any other result. It was a team that was just trying to find that last little bit of quality, and boy, have they found that quality here in the final stretch of the season. They're also 10-2-3 at home, which is where they'll be playing tonight, and we're looking to make it 11 wins on the season. But one team they have not beaten this year are the visiting side, the Charlotte Independents, a side that is also in a good run of form, 4 games unbeaten. They have scored 48 goals this season, which is 5th in USL League One. They also just clinched a playoff spot last weekend, which is 2 games sooner than they did last year, which Mike Jeffries is pleased about. But worth mentioning, on the road, just 3 wins this season on the road. They'll be looking to change their fortunes in that regard here this evening in one of the toughest road environments in all of USL League One. Well, with that in mind, 2 playoff teams colliding. Is this a preview of a postseason matchup in just a few weeks? Can Omaha keep up in the race for the Shield, or will the Jacks stun the home crowd? Find out after this break on ESPN+.
Celebration you're ever going to see. It could go viral, could make national news. It's going to be a great celebration. If Steven can do it, it's a lot of coordination, a lot of moves. So, I got a celebration for you today, Steven. Can you hold my weight? You think you hold 135?
Doyle's floater, Dos Santos' header!
Bags are packed, are you ready to go? This time tomorrow we'll be on the road, riding with you in the sunnier days. I wouldn't want it any other way. Home is with you wherever that may be.
This just in, Omaha is a soccer city, and Union Omaha is your club. After a USL League One record double-digit win streak, we've officially clinched our spot in the playoffs for the 4th straight season. Visit tickets.unionomaha.com and catch a postseason atmosphere unlike anything else in Omaha as we look to claim our 2nd USL League One championship at Werner Park. One city, one club, one means all.
At Piedmont Natural Gas, being a part of the communities we serve is important to us because to us, community begins with you. We strive to address the needs of our communities by investing time and resources to help improve the quality of life for our customers. For over 60 years, we have funded programs that support education, the environment, and community impact. Our Energy Assistance Program, Share the Warmth, helps customers pay their energy bills. We're committed to helping our neighbors by powering the vitality of our communities.
Fan Appreciation Night here at Werner Park, their last regular season game for Union Omaha. Of course, they've clinched a home playoff game later this month, but they'll be looking to make sure that that seeding is better going into that playoffs. And one team they haven't been able to beat yet this season are the Charlotte Independents, just one of 2 teams on the year that the Owls have not knocked off at least once. It was a 0-0 draw to start off the series all the way back in April. And then June 3rd, a 3-0 victory for the Jacks, which included a goal in the 7th minute and then a goal 10 minutes after the second half whistle, something Dom Casciato was talking to me about earlier this week mentioned he did not like the way his team started in both halves in that game. So they'll be looking to right the wrongs from that match a couple of months after the fact. And this time, they've got the home crowd at their side. And here are the lineups for both sides. Starting off with the home unit, Union Omaha will have one change. Both of these units' lineups brought to you by Rotellas. The one change for the Owls is a big one. Noe Meza making his entrance back into the starting 11 for the first time since July 29th. He steps in, and Luis Heel, who was in his spot, shifts back into the middle of the pitch, more into that midfielder role. He'll be paired up with Dolabella and Skiers, who will try to fill up the gap that Connor Doyle has left behind. Meanwhile, for the visiting Independents, also just one change, and also a returner to the starting lineup who hasn't been there in a hot minute, Shalom Duty, the center back. His last start was July 22nd, so that pushes Hector Costa out to the right back spot, which he played early in the year. So we'll see how he does. He's been in that center back role for a lot of this season, including recently. Our head official for this evening's match, Olvin Oliva. I'm Mark Schoenster. Welcome to 90 minutes of soccer between two playoff sides. The Independents looking to do what they can to lock up a home match. And we're underway here for some Wednesday fun between the Jacks and the Owls. And we've already got a whistle. So Steven Dos Santos chatting with our head official. Never occurred. Oliva was not pleased with the opening conduct in this game. Now we'll get things going. The Jacks in their road white kits. Meanwhile, Omaha in their typical black. Johnson nearly had a good moment there. Knocked out of play. Just 3 wins on the road for the Jacks this season versus 10 home wins for Union Omaha. So it's a situation where Dom Casciato will hope the empirical data continues its trend today. Mike Jeffries would love to buck that trend. And here come the Owls. Akoff is able to win a corner kick, deflecting that one off of Avion Flanagan. First set piece of the evening for either side. And Luis Heel will be the one to set up this corner kick, brought to you by Modelo. Luis Heel. And he will not get the chance to take it immediately. Already another whistle from our head official. Looking to set the tone here early in this match. Could be an intense affair. It's always a little bit more cozy here at Warner Park due to its field dimensions. Sometimes that can ruffle feathers, so you want to make sure you get ahead of it. Heel with the service, and that doesn't get very far. And it's one MLS veteran serving it, and another MLS veteran heading it out of play. So another Modelo corner kick. Heel. Better looking ball this time. Still in the thicket, then cleared away by Sis. And now the Owls will recycle and look to reordinate. Back to the 18 they go. Skiers. Here's Joe Gallardo. Enjoying a spell of possession here, Omaha. Akoff threads it to Gallardo. And then it's ushered away by Ibarra, but kept in play by Gallardo, and it'll be out for an Owls throw. A 1-1 draw on the road against North Carolina FC last Friday. That was the last time we had the chance to see the Owls in action. There's Meza getting that one tapped out of his clutches. It was a game that Dom Casciato really liked from his side outside of the first 10 to 15 minutes. He said, honestly, we were disappointed to not get 3 points in that one. It was really dominant in the second half. All they needed to improve on was to be a little bit sharper in the final third. He felt they didn't test the keeper enough. Skiers may have gotten clipped there, but the ref says play on. And Buyo is trying to take it forward. Now Meza. Looking now to thread it through to Dos Santos. I believe that was Brito on the feed. On the other side, long ball all the way down to Dane Kelly. And it wasn't the cleanest of transactions between him and Rashid Nuhu. But at the end of the day, it will be a goal kick. This is a Charlotte team that loves to punish on the counter on a pitch like this, at a venue like this where playing direct maybe is a bit more recommended. We may see them take that counter-attacking and turn it up a couple notches on the dial. Just make it 1 or 2 passes, turning it into a shot. Something these Owls are more than capable of doing themselves, of course. A lot of space over there for Akoff. Dion Akoff tries to thread the needle. Shalom Duty returning back to the starting 11. A very normal fixture in the starting lineup last season. Ball comes in, Dos Santos squares it. Not sure if he just hit the ball wrong or if he was trying to connect with Meza. But at the end of the day, a harmless goal kick. Here's a look at that chance again. Gallardo lobs this one in. I don't think he was trying to go for goal there the way his body was positioned, but I think he had a better shot of testing the keeper there than trying to thread that ball over to Noe Meza. Of course, can only suppose intentions. There's also a draw of the 1-1 variety for the Independents. Their game taking place on Saturday at home against Knoxville. A team that's scraping and clawing to avoid elimination. Akoff. Another cross inside, headed upward by Spielman. And Ibarra will tap it over to the right-hand side. Johnson and Acosta there. Got to make sure they're on the same page this game. Johnson usually playing in that right back spot, getting pushed up due to the re-emergence and the re-entrance of Shalom Duty. Dan Kelly couldn't keep this one in. I asked Mike Jeffries, the head man for the Charlotte Independents, about talking about Mike Jeffries. I asked him, obviously, when you're playing against Knoxville, you're expecting a fight. They're such a gritty side, but maybe you're even getting that twofold given their situation and how they are desperate for results. And Mike Jeffries was telling me that, you know what, that's been the last few matches for us as we get a look at the head man right now. Teams fighting for survival or to hang on to the playoff spot. And he also mentioned on top of that, Knoxville's an excellent team and the only one this season they haven't beaten. So despite Omaha having a better spot in the table than the Independents, the Charlotte Independents have knocked out 10 of the 12 teams. Of course, they can't beat themselves, at least not literally, which leaves just Knoxville as a team that they will more than likely close out the end of the season without a victory against, unless Knoxville can sneak into the playoffs and match up with them. Mike Jeffrey said it's a Knoxville team that's very solid in possession, and of course they play hard, which seems to be the moniker that Knoxville has really rallied behind this year. Two teams on the Omaha side that they have not knocked off this year. One of them being the Jacks and the other one being Ford Madison, but that's probably because they haven't played Ford Madison in such a long time. They've got them to close the regular season next weekend. So they have a chance to make it all 11 teams with tonight and next weekend. There's Swahi. Koff will play it back to Marco Milanese. I mentioned to Dom Casciato, head man for the Owls, that if there was ever a way for that historic win streak to end, I think the most respectable way to do it is a draw on the road against the team currently sitting at the top of the table. He was very quick to remind me that they haven't been thinking about the win streak. They've been taking it one game at a time. And that is how they'll continue to operate in that regard. Dos Santos was looking for Meza. Noe Meza, the dangerous forward, getting back into the starting lineup. 11 goals on the season, which still leads his side. Although they weren't able to get the win against Knoxville, that point and the other results across the league meant that the Independents tied up a playoff spot last weekend. Remember last year, the Independents needed all the way till the final day to earn themselves a spot. Johnson with the cross, headed away by Akoff. Meza gets to it, feels some contact. He's looking for Steven Dos Santos, but will instead get an Owl throw in. Very nice to come into this game and not have to worry about clinching. Something Mike Jeffries is telling me. Not many tougher places to play in USL League One than here at Warner Park. Against a good Owls side, against a rallying fan base here. You'll hear those drums go for 80 more minutes. Skiers to Akoff. He gets by his man, Dion Akoff, to Heel. And that one's off the mark. Heel's still on the ground, and he's ailing. So refs saying play on. It was a dead ball situation. This is really bizarre, because now he's going to blow the whistle. He had the opportunity there to just keep play stopped. You don't see something like that often. Luis Heel still not back on his feet here. Just recognized as a nominee for Player of the Month in September. Had 2 goals and 2 assists. The first of the 3, which is a goal and 2 assists, all of which were a game-winning contribution to the game. And then his last goal being in that North Carolina FC game, which was a game-tying goal. Scored it before the half there. "29 years old from Garden Grove, California. He'll make his way off for now. We'll see if he intends to return to this one. And now we'll get a drop ball over here in the field of play. Still wrapping my brain around the fact that the whistle was blown just moments after the goal kick when he was already down prior to that. So we return to action here. One way or another, it's Charlotte possession. So in that regard, it's to the flow of the game. It's not really consequential whether it's a drop ball or a goal kick, but it's certainly a strange occurrence. When I asked Dominic Casciato about this Charlotte team, as I said before kick, he was not pleased with the level of intensity his team started off with in both halves in that last matchup between the two sides. He said we need to have the intensity out of the gate. And he acknowledged the various dangerous weapons up top that this Charlotte team has. So their team needs to be cognizant of the fact that the Jacks are always looking for the opportune moment to counter. It's guys like Tracer and Mbuyu who could so quickly acquire the ball, beat a man, and then put a nice finishing touch inside the 18. But he is certainly not the only one on this side. Costa sends this one up to Kelly. Another one of those guys. Got two USL legends playing near the top of their formations on both ends. Marco Milanese is now the one on the ground, clutching what appears to be his left leg and right underneath his knee. I believe we've got a view of what caused that. I believe it was either the contact from Kelly or when he landed on the grass after the contact. He's back up and looking to work it out. Still a little bit limber, but not to a point where it's debilitating. Heel. Dos Santos. Popped it over to Schaffbauer. We haven't said his name much yet so far. A lot of the action's been over on that right-hand side with Dion Akoff, Joe Gallardo. And as I was mentioning a moment ago, two USL legends, Steven Dos Santos and Dane Kelly, playing in this match. Two of the highest goal scorers in the history of the United Soccer League. Gallardo. Finding the service there. Flanagan with it now. He's able to slip by Akoff. That's going to be an interesting bout all day. Dion Akoff and Avion Flanagan, two perfectly capable players. Here's a look at that contact again. Yeah, just gets a chunk of his leg there. Flanagan, 24 years old, from Baltimore. Talking to Mike Jeffries about his opposition today. I asked him how much different does this team look than the side you played months ago. Lots have changed for them since then, results-wise. And he said, well, they've differed a little bit, but the biggest thing is their confidence. He said their confidence in how they pressure, their confidence in how they possess the ball has grown a lot. He said that it's a side that just knows how to get it done now. The timing is much better. And he mentioned a lot of that comes down to the fact that at the beginning of the season you get a new coach, a lot of new players, and it takes time for it all to come together. Had a lot of draws at the beginning of the year. They had a lot of results where it wasn't quite going their way. And now they've made a difference. Nuhu under duress is able to get by Dane Kelly. And he needed to be right there. Akoff on the other side. He's got a squadron with him. He connects it! And the Owls score! Dion Akoff to Joe Gallardo. And a side that's oh so hot at home continues to prove their worth. The offense has been coming down this right-hand side with Dion Akoff. Just moments after a scary situation for Nuhu, it falls to Akoff. He goes to the driver's seat, and then he puts it on a plate, and Joe Gallardo with his 5th goal of the season. One touch, that's all he needed. Just the 3rd assist of the season, brought to you by Nebraska. Of the goals that have been scored by Omaha this year that don't have his assist on him, have him to thank. On the other end of things, the Jacks find an immediate response. Three points in hand for but a moment. Now it's one apiece once again. Well, folks, that didn't take very long at all. Excellent connection there. Joel Johnson and Tracer Mbuyu. His 9th goal of the season. Johnson's 4th assist. How about that? All level, once again. Now the Owls find a response. The 20th minute and the 21st minute. We have had goals in this one. And the Jacks pursuing forward once again, and will now get their first corner kick of the evening. Just a quick heads-up play from Joel Johnson to Tracer Mbuyu. And now they'll be looking to test Rashid Nuhu again here. More words from Alvin Oliva. It's been an interesting first 23 minutes from the officiating side of things. Ibarra. That one just got a piece on it, and it needed to be. Here we go again. Flag goes up. Hector Acosta with the opportunity, but not done in a legal procession. Here's a look at that again. I think he was just sitting behind Marco Milanese there. But both teams have woken up offensively. Brewer leaves it for Meza. Noe Meza squares it. Heel gets it knocked away. Both teams winning the ball, quickly turning and trying to throw another punch going down the other side. And this is an independent side that'll be looking to try to shake some instability in this Omaha side, a team that's without their main stabilizer in Connor Doyle. Picked up a knock before the last game. So first time in a long time that the Owls had to play without Connor Doyle against North Carolina FC. Dane Kelly being called for the foul there. When I asked Don Casciato about how he felt his team did without Connor Doyle, he said, obviously, it's always difficult when you lose a guy of Connor's quality. Meanwhile, Skeers trying to pop something forward. Actually, that was Joe Gallardo looking for a second. But it was a game against North Carolina FC, even without Connor. Don Casciato felt they controlled, had possession, which Connor always does a good job of. He said the boys stepped up in his absence. That's the same situation they find themselves in today. I've got Charlotte player slow to get up. Shalom Duty, who is returned to that starting 11. Luckily back up on his feet. Responsibility falls on all 10 players to fill in those spaces where Connor Doyle would frequent. But you look at Pedro Dolabella, Luis Heel, JP Skeers as guys that will probably find themselves in those spots the most frequently. Very fervorous conversation being had between Steven Dos Santos and Shalom Duty. So second year in a row in Charlotte Independent's two-year stint in USL League One that they're making the playoffs. I asked Mike Jeffries, what's the biggest difference, if any, between this year's side and last year's? Because there's a lot of returning members from last year's team. And I think the fact that they are returning members is a difference. He said last year was the first year for a lot of these guys. And he said this season we have an interesting mix of experience and other young bucks getting thrown into the fray. He also likes his balanced spread of scoring that this team outputs this year. Not relying on one or two guys to put them in the back of the net. You can find them from a lot of different faces. Mentioned though, one thing that is similar between the two teams is the quality goalkeeping he's gotten both years. Last year, primarily from Adrian Zendejas, who has been doing really well with Miami FC. And then of course this year, Austin Pack, who has broken the League One record for saves in a season. Skier slow to get up, but doing all right. Now that goalkeeping fortune, Mike Jeffries attributes to luck, but I'm sure it takes some talent to pluck out keepers like that. Sure, it's always a gamble when you're giving a new keeper a shot, but it's not like he picked out anybody. He picked out those two guys in particular. Dolabella to Meza. Dos Santos. Gallardo tries to give it right back. Spielman bearing down on Gallardo there. Milanese sends it over to Brewer. And that one did not stay in bounds for Schaff Brewer. Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL League One and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. So, flag went up from the assistant official. Although Omaha had the ball in advantage, whistles blown and brought back. 30 minutes into this game, we've had a couple of those odd moments in this game. But the other story, of course, 2 goals in the span of the 20th and 21st minute. The Owls very briefly had the lead. And the Jacks finding an immediate response. Dane Kelly. He floats this one up. Flanagan will have to chase it down. Keeps it in play, but then Akoff says thank you very much. His clearance goes back to Duty. Johnson has an option to his left, and he'll take it. Flanagan still going. Sends this one inside. He's fishing for a teammate, but instead it connects with Rashid Nuhu. Is doing what they can to find a big win on the road, but this has been a fortress, Warner Park, for the Owls. When I asked Don Casciato about what about playing at home has really helped his side, and he said it's kind of a combo of everything. Of course, the being at home is really nice, just sleeping in your own bed, waking up in your own bed, and not having to worry about the traveling, being familiar with the pitch, being familiar with the stadium, the locker rooms. He said the fans are like a 12th man, and they bring the energy when we need the energy. You could hear them providing some disapproval from that whistle there. Here's a look at the contact here again. Dolabella going up against Bashir and DA there. On top of the home advantages, there's also the advantages of not going on the road. Traveling for Omaha has always been difficult. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2023, whether your club is on the road or at home. Catch nearly every second of USL League One action on ESPN+. The home to the USL, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. Kelly gonna send and DA running. He might be able to keep this one in play if he gets there, and he will. Flanagan dashing forward, gets tripped up. No foul called. That one to the delight of the Parliament. So the home fans and all the home advantages on top of not having the long journeys that come with every single road game for the Owls. They don't have any close proximity rivals to travel to, which is always tough for Dom Casciato's side. He mentioned, but then it flips to the other way when teams have to make the trip here to Werner Park. It's not a close trip for anybody to get here. So that's another thing going in their favor when it comes to their home form. Brewer one times and clears it. Here he is again. Heel now. Drumming will continue to carry through here at Werner Park. Mbuyu can't quite get to that one. Stepped on first by Milanese. When it comes to preparing for playing on this pitch, Mike Jeffrey said it's hard for us to prepare for the game because it's a midweek match coming off a hard game on Saturday. Of course, Omaha had a hard game on Friday, so it's not going to use that as an excuse. But the fact is they've mainly been recovering between these two matches, and then they touched base on the tactics of it. He mentioned one thing that they need to be cognizant of is they need to be ready for more crosses in the game, which they've seen a lot of crosses already in this match. He said we're going to need to prevent them from collecting the second ball. Kelly switches the point of attack. Brought down nicely by Mbuyu, even though it was behind him. Mbuyu back to Sis. One dished out a play by Akoff. And there is some tension there between him and Avion Flanagan, a push, maybe while the ref's back was turned. And that disdain is not just for Dion Akoff. Avion Flanagan sharing some words with Joe Gallardo. And someone tells me he's going to be on a short leash for the rest of this game. If we see any funny business or a foul, I believe Oliva will be pulling out the card next time. Avion Flanagan does something that Oliva's not pleased with. Meza taking it down that left-hand side. Can't get it by Omar Sis, though. Loose touch from Ibarra means the Owls will recollect. Mike Jeffries watching his opposition throw it in play. He talked about how one thing they may need to be cognizant of is Steven Dos Santos. They like to play directly off of him, and especially at home. So that's a player that he wants his team to keep their eyes glued onto, because at any moment they could look for him. Like that ball right there. Too high in the air, though, and Austin Pack easily able to jump on it. Enjoy a spell of possession here. Here's Brewer. Meza tries the shot. Sifting through some traffic there, Noe Meza, at least the shot was, as he winded around and let it fly. Maybe looking to just get his laces through it. course, with him, you never know. He could sneak in a goal from any spot. .11 goals. He's got more than any other guy this season on the pitch. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern. Plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 in the SXM app. Barra ends up tracking down his touch there, and then Pack will blast it forward. Now the Owls once again on the attack. No foul called. Meza leaves it for Dolabella. Heel to Meza. It dished back to Heel. Dos Santos. Now Gallardo. Akoff's gonna have to track that one down. He gets it in time. No, he doesn't actually. Flag goes up late. Akoff dismayed. But with a grin, the assistant official says, no, not quite. Probably allotting him for the effort. So 40 minutes have transpired, 5 more to go, plus whatever stoppage time is tacked on. First half with lots of intrigue, as Mbuyu pretty much got backpacked there by Alexi Swahi. Free kick for the Jacks. That ball's still in the mixer. Flanagan tries to shoot, and he wins a throw-in. Glancing that one off of Dolabella. Again, the whistle being blown awfully late there. JP Skeers being called for the foul. Another set piece opportunity for the Jacks. Service comes in, 2 players interfering with each other, and both of them offside. Ultimately wouldn't have mattered that they both bumped into each other, but still, even despite that, not something for the visiting team you would like to see. Costa, the pass to the top of the 18. Now he'll provide the clearance. Johnson lays this one forward. So one of these sides can fix something up before this final whistle. The Owls scoring late in the first half against North Carolina FC to tie things up this past weekend. Brewer making his way forward, connects with Meza. Meza dishes it out wide. Akoff gets by his man. Akoff will be able to retrieve it, and he'll go at it again. Dion Akoff nearly connecting with heel there. And here come the Jacks the other way. And Mbuyu, always so dangerous with the ball at his feet, finds Flanagan. Avion Flanagan! There's no one there to finish it up. Now it's Johnson. Johnson gets by his man. Johnson shoots. It's off the crossbar. What a sequence of events there. Somehow still 1-1. So Mbuyu, great ball to Flanagan. Johnson comes flying in late, then slips it by, takes a shot, and that may have come off of Nuhu too. I think it may have. I think the keeper may have gotten a piece on that one. Tosses this one in. We've got 3 minutes of stoppage time, brought to you by Muchachos. So after a half that, let's say Omaha's had the better share of opportunities, Charlotte might be the one bemoaning the fact that they don't have a 2-1 advantage as it stands. Heel. Meza now. Can't get it by Acosta. That was nearly careless. Spielman ends up stepping in. And then Acosta off the back of Shaft Brewer. Now for a goal kick. Shaft Brewer, 23 years old. Involved there. A little exchange on the Omaha side of things, at least. Headed back nicely by Milanese. 2 of the 3 minutes have transpired. We're looking for the likes of Steven Dos Santos and Noe Meza there at the top. Meza back in the starting lineup. See him there. Asked Don Pasciato about what was keeping him out of starting lineup these past few games. As Akoff turns on the burners. Dion Akoff still going. And then Flanagan at the last moment gets a touch on it. Well, isn't he just some quality? Dion Akoff, a dangerous character on that right-hand side. And we've got a Modelo corner kick to close things off here in the first half. Gallardo gets a piece of it, but not enough. And that's a ball that'll roll all the way to Nuhu as we hit 3 minutes. And the whistle sounds. A very exciting first 45 minutes of action. 2 goals in the span of about 2 minutes between the Owls and the Jacks, which leaves it at 1 apiece going into the break. A goal from Joe Gallardo to start things off in the 20th minute, and then in the 21st minute, just moments after Gallardo's goal, Tracer Mbuyu finds his 9th of the season on great service from Joel Johnson. And that is where we find ourselves after 45 minutes of action. We've got some good halftime content coming your way. We'll take a peek at how the games over the past weekend transpired. We'll talk about some of the breaking news across the league. So make sure you keep the stream going, stick around. We'll see you there on ESPN+. We'll step aside briefly.
My name is Yoskar Galvin. I'm a midfielder for Union Omaha. I mean, it was exciting because at first I really didn't think I was going to get schooling, but my mom was pressuring me, and obviously I pressured myself to get my studies done because it's really important to me and my family. So right now I'm trying to get my generals out of the way and try to figure out what I want to do. I want to get my minor, obviously, and then try to see if I want to do my master's, but that's just been my goal since I was a little kid in my parents' school, my parents' dream, and that's the dream that I want to fulfill for them. And obviously playing professional and having school is just an amazing thing. I mean, getting school for free is an amazing feat, and obviously getting it from your team and just Bellevue being so supportive. I mean, every counselor, every helper for the school has been helpful a lot, and I've been learning. My name is Yoskar, and I'm a Bellevue University student.
The best celebration you're ever going to see. It could go viral, could make national news. It's going to be a great celebration. If Steven can do it, it's a lot of coordination, a lot of moves. I got a celebration for you today, Steven. Can you hold my weight? You think you hold 135?
Doyle's floater. Dos Santos' header!
(1-1) after 45 here at Warner Park. Let's take a look back at what happened this past weekend. We had 10 teams playing in 5 matchups to break down. So let's take a peek at how all those went down. Starting with the Greenville Triumph playing host to the Hailstorm. It was a moment in the first half after the run of play favored the Greenville Triumph that Danny Robles finds Trevor Ammon. Was he offside? Was he not? He doesn't care. His shot has too much power on it. Gets through the hands of Jared Mazzola, giving a 1-0 lead to the Hailstorm. And then it would just be a couple minutes later that they would double that advantage, and it would be that man again. He'd end the day with 22 goals on the year. Just a fantastic season for Trevor Ammon, and a fantastic finish right here as he just gets a little kiss off the left post and finishes it. And this one would end up at this scoreline 2-0 in favor of the Hailstorm. Then the Owls on the road going up against North Carolina FC. Not often that you see Don Casio's side make a mess of things, but they do here. Just clunky, and then Rafa Mensigan rifles it in. Puts a lot of juice behind that shot. She knew who can't stop it. And it gives the home side the 1-0 lead. But before the half would conclude, the Owls would conjure up one moment, and in one moment was all they needed. It would be Dos Santos, who's usually on the scoring end of these, instead will be the assister, and he'll set up Luis Heel, who's usually the assister. But this time, he's the one scoring the goal to make it 1-1, and it would be a point apiece shared between two contenders for the League One title this year in both the Player Shield and in the playoffs. Those are your games on Friday, as these two sides share some handshakes. Going into Saturday's action, we had 3 more games that were taking place, one of which involving the Charlotte Independents, the first game. And what a goal we have here. One Knoxville, Jimmy Villalobos. Get your leg up and put that one away. Fantastic strike from him, giving his side a desperate 1-0 lead in a game they need 3 points. And then they would have a couple other opportunities. Of course, Austin Pack, always good at making saves and keeping his team in a match, and he kept them in it. And then eventually, fortune would favor the Charlotte Independents. Jessen Vanderplow can't quite clear that one out, an own goal, and make that one 1-1. And then here's a huge one. Foreign Madison looking to do everything they can to tie up one of these playoff spots. Meanwhile, Tormenta and One Knoxville hoping for anything to go not their way. It starts off in the Mingos' favor. A mishap, and Derek Gebhardt is a grateful recipient of it. And then a bit of a mishap here, and Ates Diouf takes advantage. Excellent finish from him. He's been so good all season long. Then the Mingos looking to get all 3 points. It's Stephen Payne, pops it up, and then Sachero nods it home. Nobody home in goal. 2-1 in favor of the Mingos, but then Lexington doing a favor for the teams still in contention, and it's the teenager, Kimball Jackson. There it is, putting it home. He's stoked about it. Lexington stoked about it. 2-2 is your final score. A huge draw in the playoff push. Madison will be hoping they got all 3 points. They won't get them there. And then in this one, 3 points, much needed for Tormenta. They would get it thanks to this penalty. They put it away, and they'd win this one 1-0 against Richmond. We'll step aside briefly. Now this from the USL.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
This just in, Omaha is a soccer city, and Union Omaha is your club. After a USL League One record double-digit win streak, we've officially clinched our spot in the playoffs for the 4th straight season. Visit tickets.unionomaha.com and catch a postseason atmosphere unlike anything else in Omaha as we look to claim our 2nd USL League One championship at Werner Park. One city, one club, one means all.
As we return back for more halftime content here on ESPN+, Spokane Velocity have found their home, One Spokane Stadium. I think it was 5,500 seats that will be available there. Looks like a beautiful venue to bring the beautiful game of USL League One to another spot in this league. Meanwhile, Union Omaha adding Nick Hexum to the ownership group. Owls fans, I'm sure they've been giving him a nice warm welcome here at the end of the year. Trevor Ammett collecting his 7th brace of the season, earning Player of the Week, which leads us to the Team of the Week, which coincidentally, not a single player from the matchup that you watch for 45 minutes and will watch for 45 more minutes will be featured here on the Team of the Week, but Ammon with 22 goals on the season, another brace to his name. You just saw the highlights moments before. Well-deserved on his part. Also, although Will Palmquist in a losing effort getting Goalkeeper of the Week, heroic effort in that game from him. Some fantastic saves. Meanwhile, talking about some games that are coming up on the slate both later today as far as later this weekend as well. We've got Central Valley Fuego and the Greenville Triumph. Greenville trying to do everything they can to lock up a playoff spot. I'd recommend tuning into that game tonight. And then you got a game on Friday, and then you've got a good wealth of games on Saturday. Omaha will be playing Tormenta. Meanwhile, Jacks fans, they'll be sitting at home because this is their penultimate game here tonight. They've only got one more game in the regular season, so you could pick your poison, choose one of these tantalizing matchups, and kick back, relax, and not have the stress of hoping your team gets 3 points. But that's not the case here this evening. We've got 45 more minutes for either of these teams to get all three. Let's see what happens. We'll see you on the other end on ESPN+.
We are Myrtle and Cypress Coffee House. We're located in the heart of Gifford Park neighborhood in Midtown, Omaha. The idea behind the coffee shop came out of the neighborhood's expressed desire for a place for people to gather. From being rooted in our neighborhood, to choosing ingredients and processes that nourish, to supporting coffee growers and their communities, Myrtle and Cypress connects you to Union Omaha's beautiful motto, one means all.
This just in, Omaha is a soccer city, and Union Omaha is your club. After a USL League One record double-digit win streak, we've officially clinched our spot in the playoffs for the 4th straight season. Visit tickets.unionomaha.com and catch a postseason atmosphere unlike anything else in Omaha as we look to claim our 2nd USL League One championship at Werner Park. One city, one club, one means all.
We offer a full array of dental treatment, and what that provides you as a patient is you're able to come to one place and get comprehensive care under one roof.
I've always been greeted with a smile. They know me when I call. I trust them.
We'd love to see you at Wood Creek Dental. Visit us at woodcreekdental.com.
On the business end of halftime here on ESPN+, 1-1 your score line between these two sides, brought to you by Courtyard by Marriott. Let's take a look at what got us here to this point after 45 minutes of action between the Jacks and the Owls. Here are your first half highlights. 19th minute. This is where everything got saucy. Just moments after Rashid Nuhu stepped by Dane Kelly with the ball at his feet, Dion Akoff takes it down this right-hand side, gets by Flanagan, and then puts it oh so nicely at the feet of Joe Gallardo, who has the apt finish, putting it away. Oh so well done from the goal scorer, 25 years old, Joe Gallardo. But then just moments later, it would be Johnson to Ibarra, back to Johnson, who puts just a wonderful ball for Tresor Mbuyu. I mean, how about that service, and how about that one-touch finish out of the stretching arms of Rashid Nuhu. Then, in the 45th minute, they would have a chance to take the lead here. A couple of moments. Flanagan keeping it in play. Johnson is able to get by Milanese. And we can't really tell from this angle if Nuhu was able to affect this shot or not. But either way, it goes off the crossbar. And this one stays at 1 apiece. Johnson, oh so close to giving his team the advantage. And here are your halftime stats brought to you by the Simple Man. Well, at this point, the stat worth looking at is the simple one, the scoreline. It's 1-1. Both these teams with a share of chances. Omaha with a couple more and have had more possession. But the fact of the matter is either one of these teams have the capability to take the reins in this one and finish. They both had opportunities to get an advantage in this game. And yet here we sit, and we'll see how these two teams roll out from the dressing room. Tresor Mbuyu and Hector Acosta exchanging some last-minute tactical understandings before the whistle blows, and then it's all running in action. And while the huddle being broken by Union Omaha. teams will switch ends, and we'll be looking by the end of this game to be taking 3 points with them. Let's see if either side could do just that. No whistle called there. Gallardo. Now we're gonna get the whistle just for the ensuing injury. Steven Dos Santos, the one who collided in the middle of the air and took the worst end of that contact. He was a player who really put in a shift against North Carolina FC. I was talking to Dominic Casciato about his performance in that game. And Casciato was telling me that in their Monday game review, they noticed about 3 separate times that he recognized an issue defensively and worked back to help his defenders. It really sends a great message when a guy like Steven Dos Santos, who is 34 years old, who has such a fantastic resume, he's won everywhere he's gone, to still want more. Casciato was telling me that the guys, of course, respect his history, but they respect his work rate even more. So that's a perfect example, because when a guy later in his career, who doesn't really need to prove that he's a quality player, is still demonstrating that drive and that hunger to win, I mean, that's infectious. A hit on the back of his head here. That's always of a concern. Here's a look at it again. It looks like the arm of Shalom Duty was what hit him on the back of the head. He'll get waved back into this game. Now he's allowed re-entry. See how the Owls are able to, let's see how the Jacks can hold on to possession, how the Owls can withhold that. Dolabella. On that left-hand side. Service from Brewer goes off of Johnson, and it'll be a corner kick. Another corner kick brought to you by Modelo, and it'll also be brought to you by Luis Heel. Good-looking ball. And the header from Noe Meza off target. Meza couldn't quite get even with it. It was only underneath the ball. And once again, returning back to the starting lineup for the first time since July 29th, suffered an injury and has been coming off the bench since he recovered. Dos Santos looking to play it forward to Akoff, and it slows down just in time. Akoff with the cross, and Spielman heads it away. Omaha with a good stretch of possession here. Heel. Nice find inside. Meza with a popping shot. Kept in by Pack. Had to dive to keep that one from rolling out for a corner kick. But when it comes to coming out of the gates with some intensity, That's what this Owl team is doing right now. Brewer floats this one up. Dos Santos, it's still in play. Then cleared out. Spielman having the last say on it. And another Modelo corner kick. Luis Heel will provide service, this time from the right flag. And that one did not suffer a deflection off of Jack's player, so it'll be a goal kick. Swahi getting his head on it, couldn't put it on frame. After 5 minutes, it's the Owls who have come out the gate and are asking all the questions. Looking for their 11th win at home. And looking to make it 11 wins in their last 12 matches. Dom Casciato and his side. Busy week. They've got this match, of course, and then they have to go to Tormenta in South Georgia on Saturday. Regular season ends with a date with Madison. Which could end up being a huge match. Potentially for both sides, but I would almost guarantee for Forward Madison. Dolabella overshoots Gallardo there, and Mbuyu will gratefully receive it. Mbuyu sends Kelly running. Dane Kelly on that right-hand side. Shaft Brewer is now there in front of him. Sis with the ranged effort, not on the mark. Omar Sis has that in his back pocket, though. At this point in the year, all of these games are oh so intense. Jeffrey said that when you get to this time of the season, everyone has something to play for, whether it be making the playoffs, winning the Players' Shield like Omaha, or, in our case, we won a home game in the playoffs, so we want to lock that up, even though we know we're going to be playing in the tournament. Now it's about getting as many advantages as you can. Teams who have already locked up a home game in the playoffs with the Owls, North Carolina FC, and Hailstorm. Charlotte will be looking to follow suit in that regard as things go on now. They can't clinch a home game here. They can make it a lot harder for the likes of Fort Madison and the Greenville Triumph to catch up to them. Set piece for the Owls. Marco Milanese. That's a low driving ball, flicked up by Gallardo. It's still in the fray. Knifed away by Johnson. Well, that's one way to leave the ball for Dion Akoff. That into the 6 where Austin Pack will easily collect it. Johnson surveying his options. Here's Shalom Duty finding Trezor Mbuyu. Now Ibarra. Switches it over to Johnson. His sister on their goal. Floats it up. Flanagan back across. And then cleared away by Dolabella. Sis, the head full of steam. And Mbuyu. Bashir and Diwe doing well there to keep his balance and maintain possession for the Jacks, as now they try to enjoy a spell of possession going forward. Cross comes in into the hands of Rashid Nuhu. eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. Free to play, download now. Exciting new step in the gaming side of things for the USL. So there's a missed pass to Gallardo. When you're up against a Charlotte Independence team that is so good at taking advantage of mistakes, I asked Dom Casciato, how are you telling your team to be more careful going into a game against the Independents? And he said, absolutely not. When you try to avoid mistakes, you end up just doubling them. So what's actually important is to focus on two things. One of which is, how do you respond when you make a mistake? And also, how is the structure behind the ball when that mistake takes place? So trying to mitigate the damage when a slip-up occurs. Right now, they're thinking of scoring on the other side of things. Gallardo, it's dribbled through. Came to the feet of Steven Dos Santos, but he couldn't get it out. At least not in the way he would have liked to. I think that's a very fair point. You can't play to not make mistakes. Part of the game is trying to make the ball go forward, being creative, and obviously that's a trial and error process. And soccer's a low-scoring game. Most of the time, your efforts are not going to result into a goal. So then the next question is, what do you do on the other side of that? Make sure it's as difficult as possible for the other team to punish you for it. Oberton warming up on the Charlotte side of things. He could be an impact substitution in this game. Charlotte have the liberty of not having to worry about a game on the weekend. Union Omaha have to keep that in account as that ball floats in. And oh my goodness, a nonchalant save from Austin Pack. Steven Dos Santos nearly giving his team the lead, and Austin Pack gets a piece of it, but I don't know how much thought went into this for Pack. Certainly not one of the more dynamic looking saves that Austin Pack has made this season. Here's the Medella corner kick. Skiers to Gallardo. Wasn't able to slip some space open, so we'll go back to Akoff. Gallardo has it once again. His cross doesn't get very far. Mbuyu finds Sis, who slips by two Owls. Sis connects with Kelly, but his touch is poor. And that's a wild collision there. Bashir and Die getting tangled up with Shaft Brewer. And Brewer goes over to the assistant to air his complaints. Here's a look at this again. And DA gets there first. And now Alvin Oliva is going to issue his first yellow card of the evening. Shaft Brewer with his 7th yellow card of the season. Will be a free kick for the Jacks. And much to the displeasure of the Parliament and the Owl faithful, this is the situation they find themselves in. 2/3 of the way through this match. Joel Johnson looking for another fine piece of service. Not a bad ball. It's headed onward. And DA, nice back heel, but then it's cleared away. Sis plays it back to Pack. Ibarra. And we get this one forward in midfield for Ndia. He can switch play here, and he does so. Johnson brings it down. Forward-thinking ball, and Nuhu gets there first. 2 different targets awaiting on the other side. First yellow card in this one, 60 minutes into the match. 2 teams that are fairly good about fouls. Charlotte in particular in the bottom half of the league in fouls, in yellow cards, and only have 1 red card all season long. Heel tries it himself, and that one will sail well off the mark. Getting to this point of a so-called clean season for the Independents. Mike Jeffries attributes the guys for just how they behave and how they have behaved throughout their career, but also mentioned that he's been proud of how this side hasn't picked up unnecessary cards throughout the season. He felt that at the beginning of the year they were picking up unnecessary fouls, but they've cleaned up on that as the season's gone on. They haven't ever had an issue with yellow card accumulation and any of the suspensions that can come with that. But an interesting aspect that he attributed maybe some of the success to is that Charlotte plays on such a big pitch, and that emphasizes possession more, and it's less congested. Akoff, his service suffers a deflection and had to be punched away by Austin Pack. Heel pops this one up, and Dos Santos couldn't get his head on it. And Acosta will clear it away, but it's Brewer on the end of it. Akoff gets by Flanagan. Akoff tries to thread the needle. I see some substitutions getting ready for the Owls. This one won back by Charlotte. Johnson going forward. Connects with Ibarra. Miguel Ibarra with the service inside, headed away for a corner. Well, the momentum has definitely favored the Owls here in the second half, but the Jacks have had their moments, their windows. And now with the corner kick, it's an opportunity to take advantage. Will be Miguel Ibarra, 7 assists on the season. Ball comes in, Knocked away by Nuhu. And that's a well-done header from Gallardo. It is sprung Noe Meza free. Meza looks for Gallardo, he finds him. Joe Gallardo looking for that brace, he shoots, it's saved. A shot that went directly at Austin Pack. It was a breakaway that was kick-started by Joe Gallardo's header. But it's another Modelo corner kick. So from one corner to the other, Luis Heel drives it in. The header, it's in! Steven Dos Santos knocks it home for the Owls. Goal number 9 on the season for the veteran. And the Owls once again have the lead. He just gets on the inside of Spielman. And that's going to be wildly difficult for Pack to stop. Talked about his work rate earlier. That goal brought to you by Nebraska Lottery. And he holds up Connor Doyle's jersey, absent for the second game in a row. Acknowledgement of how much they missed their guy. It's Rashid Nuhu and Connor Doyle, the two guys that are kind of synonymous with that of Union Omaha. Steven Dos Santos paying his respects to him. Man from Mindelo, Cape Verde, played 2 years with the Tampa Bay Rowdies, but he's been all over the place and he scores goals everywhere he goes. Now for Union Omaha, the next 20-plus minutes will be about hanging on and securing 3 points. You see Lagos Kunga on the pitch. He's one of the two players readying for substitution before the goal. But here come the Owls again. Dos Santos to Akoff. Back to Dolabella. Dolabella from distance. And that was a dangerous deflection. Ends up putting it off target. And another Modelo corner kick. Dolabella deciding to try his luck. So Modelo corner kick. Luis Heel bringing this one into play. Heel's cross comes in, header back into the fray. It's still around. A jumping clearance was required. So we got several substitutions now to catch you up on. Joe Brito in for Shaft Brewer. Here's your first of which. Lagos Kunga also made his way into the game. You see Joe Gallardo making way for Kunga. And then we had 3 substitutions for the You see Oberton has subbed into the game along with Corey Bennett and Brad Dunwell. We'll get you those replacements here in a moment, or the players they replaced, that is. Oberton, the veteran, taking it forward. So Flanagan comes out of the game for Bennett. Now Oberton pushing it forward, decides to strike, and it's off target. But that's the kind of guy they want taking these efforts here. You see these substitutions taking place on your screen here. Bashir and D.A. out for Brad Dunwell. And then Kelly, the last one to make way. So we'll see who occupies the top of this formation for the Jacks. Oberton subbing in for Kelly and looks to be the one to take that spot. Akoff waiting, and then tries to sneak it through. Dion Akoff, such a potent player. Cannot sing his praises enough, especially in this match. He's been a force coming down that right-hand side. Sis nearly returns it back to Oberton. And now it's Akoff again. And he gets scrapped there by Brad Dunwell, who gets his 7th yellow card just moments after coming into the game. Decided to make the decision that he was not going to let Akoff go forward and do as he pleased. And that yellow card brought to you by Hale Varsity Club. Our first yellow card on the Jacks today. Oh, what a turn. Akoff serves it in, and it's headed away. Still a moment of danger here for the Owls, but it'll be nodded out for a throw-in. Ibarra does well to step through 2 players there. Not an immediate response this go around for the Charlotte Independents. They'll be looking to find one nonetheless here with a little over 15 minutes to go. And they're going to get another free kick. The USL is celebrating Hispanic Latino Heritage Month with stories, events, and more, bringing to life this special celebration across the league. Go to uslsoccer.com/Hispanic-heritage to learn more. Hopeful ball going in, and Buyu will try to get to it first. And then Miguel Ibarra, who's trying to keep action going forward, heads it out for a goal kick. There's a look at some of the Owl faithful here, looking to see win number 11 at home this season. The only other team to have 10 wins at home this year are the Charlotte Independents. Ibarra throws it in. Oberton switches it up. Bennett tries to play it inside. It gets by the keeper, but I don't think anybody else was anticipating that it would. A bright moment there for Charlotte. Omar Sis, the one closest to it. Corey Bennett gets that one by Nuhu. Still 2-1 though. Another goal kick here for the Owls. Not quite in gamesmanship mode yet, but they'll be thinking about that clock as this one continues to tick away. This ball launched all the way forward for Noe Meza. Mentioned he hasn't been in the starting lineup as of late. Dom Casciato saying that Noe's a top player and has been working hard, but it's been less of the fault of Noe Meza he's not been in the starting lineup, and more so the benefit of everyone else playing so well. The message that this Owls team has been carrying all season is that every player is responsible for their success. And as Kunga brings it forward, Kunga with some pace takes it over to that right-hand side. Taps it out to Akoff. He leaves it for Heel. Collecting his 8th assist of the season. Kunga still with it. Lagos Kunga. So over to Noe Meza now. And he wins the corner kick. And Noe Meza gets injured. And then this team goes on this crazy win streak in his absence. Dom Casciato said the players in front of him have been doing their part, and so he's just had to wait for his chance to get back in the starting lineup because you don't want to mess up what's working. As we get another Modelo corner kick here. He mentioned on Noe's part that he's been patient and he's had a great mentality about it. And he got the chance to start here today. Overton heads this one out, and they'll have another take at it. Another Modelo corner kick here for you. Heel plays it into the hands of Pack. And the Jacks muster up response. That is not the distribution they were looking for from Austin Pack. Meza finds Brito. Duty. He's able to fend off Akoff, and he's going to be called for the foul. Gets a warning from Alvin Oliva. And we're going to get a substitution for the Owls. Luca Mastrantonio in, and Luis Heel out. So some offensive firepower out, and in comes another one of your center backs to fasten down the ship and see this one to its close. Good outing from Luis Heel this evening. Overtime. Takes it forward. Not a lot of space to work with. And then was searching for Sis there on that pass. Milanese and Dolabella both vying for the ball there for a moment. It's a good challenge from Duty. And he has some words to say to Dion Akoff. I think Dom Casciato is asking for a yellow card for the behavior after the fact. Because Duty definitely did some talking down to Dion Akoff there. I'm sure some hard feelings are being had by this Charlotte side for that man, Dion Akoff. He has been a problem, to say the least, this entire match. Looks like we got another booking incoming. With his 7th yellow card of the season after that challenge. It's another free kick for the Independents, but this time right around the middle of the pitch. And now Sis comes out, and Luis Alvarez comes in. Sis, who has developed his offensive side of the game, still primarily more of a holding midfielder. Alvarez could provide maybe more of that extra juice they need. Done well. Play it back to Acosta. Duty. Searching there for Ibarra. And he not too pleased with Dion Akoff as well, as he was looking for a ball to get this one back into play. So Akoff gets a yellow card now. Just his 3rd yellow of the season. So he bites his lip and looks to see this one through with a booking in his name now. It's a throw in for Shalom Duty. Spielman, not a bad looking ball. It's headed away. Meza gets by the challenge. Noe Meza streaking forward. And that contact brings Meza down. Play goes on. Dolabella takes the shot, and it slips through the hands of Pack. He's able to collect it. It went off the post, or more so sat on it. Noe Meza still on the ground, and now the whistle blows. There's a look at everything that just transpired again. I mean, that's a foul on Shalom Duty. He doesn't get any of the ball there. His shoulder goes into the legs of Noe Meza. And not often do you see something like that happen with Austin Pack. But he's lucky it spilled right towards the woodwork. Well, it was a match that has gotten a bit clunky here in the final 20 or so minutes. A lot more biting remarks between the two sides. Challenges that have been a bit more clumsy. Konga plays it back into play for Swahi. whistle away from the action here. It appears that it's going to be a free kick for the Owls. Milanese to take. Floats this one up. And no one on the end of it. The Owls looking to secure 3 points in their final regular season home game. 2 more on the road before the season ends, and then they'll have another home match in the playoffs. It'll be a Charlotte throw. Well, actually be the Charlotte substitution, excuse me. And Mbuyu comes out, Luka Sawinski comes in. 19 years old, Luka Sawinski. Only played about 30. Up, gets that one off of Acosta. It'll be another corner kick brought to you by Modelo. Brito from the right flag. Sends this one in. Headed down, it's saved! An excellent stop from Austin Pack. Looked like near deja vu for Steven Dos Santos, but this time Pack comes sliding in. Here's a look at it one more time. Once again, Dos Santos getting on the end of it. And now a lot of commotion taking place. So here's what just happened here. The keeper goes down with a little push, and that results in some players taking offense. And actually a penalty has been awarded. Didn't notice the ref pointing to the spot. But that is what has taken place here. Steven Dos Santos does go down after the header from the corner kick. It's what the Owls players were appealing for. But from the signaling I caught, never noticed a point to the spot, but here we are. A chance to go into double digits on the season, Steven Dos Santos. And the veteran can all but put this one away, should he convert it. The 34-year-old forward. There's a lot of goals to his name, but he's proven that he's more than just that. A workhorse, but still a goal scorer. 3-1 Omaha. A Superman celebration from Steven Dos Santos, and a brace on this goal brought to you by Nebraska Lottery. You can make it 10 goals on the season for Steven Dos Santos. Gets Pack going the wrong way. And the vet knows what to do from there. The Owls looking at now 12 games unbeaten, 11 wins in 12. And for those Hailstorm fans and North Carolina FC fans that were hoping for the Owls to drop some points there, to drop some points here tonight, unless there's a resurgence from the Independents here in the last moments of this game. We're going to get 7 minutes of stoppage time brought to you by Muchachos. And a defensive substitution for the Owls. Meza out, Shivani Willis in. As it stands now, with Omaha now caught up on games with the likes of the Hailstorm and the likes of North Carolina FC, they are sitting at the top of the table. Now here's that substitution. Now ready to come in, Shivani Willis. Player infamous for when he scores, it's from the parking lot. Only hits absolute screamers. Meza comes out. And he'll look to help his side hang on here. And the Independents will have about a week and a half to think about this one. Oberton connects with Ibarra, but only for a moment. Now Duty. Funny enough, both of these teams' next opponents is Tormenta this Saturday. A road trip to South Georgia for the Owls, and then next weekend, the Jacks will play host to Tormenta. Service comes in, Johnson! Can't put it on frame. And he bashes the woodwork in a follow-up. He knows that's an opportunity that he needs to take advantage of. It's a good ball coming in. And he's got the space, and Johnson just can't bring it down. Just 3 more minutes to go. The Owls, with this victory, putting themselves in a really good spot in the race for the Players' Shield. A bit of a love tap there from Lagos Kunga. And here come the Owls again. Steven Dos Santos! It's a hat trick for the veteran. The Owls now coasting to the top of the table. What a night for that man. He lets it go by him, and then the favor is returned right back to his feet. Why not? He puts it away. He gives that salute, but a salute should be given to him That goal brought to you by Nebraska Lottery. A hat trick on the evening for Steven Dos Santos. Has over 80 goals in the USL. A player who's capped with his national team. He has been a force. And if it wasn't already decided before that, it's certainly decided now. And with the way the Owls played this evening, I have a hard time seeing either the Hailstorm or North Carolina FC taking over that spot from the Owls, but you never know. Overtime. Closest one up, well up high. Duty. Now a bar up. Switch it back over to overtime. Overtime sends it in. Couldn't connect with Duty. At this point in time, the Owls have a 2-point lead in the race for the Players' Shield. 59 points as it stands right now. North Carolina at 57, Northern Colorado at 56. And we're practically at this game's conclusion. And that's the final whistle in their final home game of the regular season. Omaha setting themselves up for maybe 2 more home games this season. 4-1 your final score. The Owls, in impressive fashion, knock down the Jacks. And how about the performance from Steven Dos Santos? He is our Platinum Chiropractic and Wellness Man of the Match. Pretty easy decision. Kind of took that one straight out of our hands here in the second half. 3 goals in 45 minutes of action. There's one, knocking it home. Another good look at it. He nearly had a second goal in very similar fashion. It was denied by him, by Austin Pack. Then he gets the penalty, and he puts that one away. And then not too long after, a goal in the 90th minute, a goal in the 95th minute. Just icing on the cake. The night was his, and he puts it away. 4-1 in favor of Union Omaha, and 3 goals on the night for Steven Dos Santos. With that in mind, we're going to step aside briefly. When we come back, we'll have our post-game thoughts here on ESPN+. We'll see you then.
My name is Ian McGrain, and I am a goalkeeper for Union Omaha. I jumped at the opportunity because I really didn't consider myself going back to school just because of playing and just didn't have the time. But now, since I'm able to do both Bellevue and train, it's a great opportunity for me and for all the guys who are taking it up. This degree at Bellevue is important to me because it opens up a lot of opportunities I didn't have before. I'm getting my master's in finance, which is something that's always interested me, but I wasn't able to do beforehand. So I'm open to explore opportunities that Bellevue has to offer. Yeah, the partnership between Bellevue and Union Omaha is great because a lot of athletes don't get the opportunity or don't even think that they have the time to both study and play at the same time. So having that benefit to do both is really great for all the players here, especially at Union Omaha, because with us being so close to the university, I think it gives us a little bit more special connection to the program. And yeah, it's really great for everyone who chooses to take it up. My name is Ian McGrain, and I'm a Bellevue University student.
Welcome back here to Werner Park, and the man of the night getting some attention And rightfully so. 3 goals for Steven Dos Santos and a 4-1 victory for the Owls against a fellow playoff side in the Charlotte Independents. I'm Mark Schoenster as we welcome you in for the closing thoughts here on ESPN+. Let's take a look at those full-time highlights here as we take you back through everything that took place here over 90 minutes. And it started in the 19th minute. It was Dion Akoff who was turning heads for most of this game and would get the assist here. Sets up Joe Gallardo. He'd score the goal, and that's the last Union Omaha goal not scored by a man by the name of Steven Dos Santos. Excellent finish from Gallardo, giving his team the lead. And they thought, well, all right, let's hold on to that lead. And then it was vanished just moments later. Miguel Ibarra combines with Joel Johnson, and then he puts up a beautiful ball for Tracer Mbuyu to put into the back of the net to make it 1-1, which is how it would end going into halftime. Then in the 66th minute, the game winner would come from a corner kick. Luis Heel puts it in. Steven Dos Santos gets his first of 3 on the evening. Can't let that guy get on the other side of you on the corner kick. Dos Santos steps in the middle, finds the open room, heads it home. Now let's take another look at this and see what happens here. So Dos Santos gets tripped up, goes down. I believe the penalty is being called on Hector Acosta. And then Dos Santos puts it away, has a brace on the evening, but he's not done just yet. But at this point in time, it looks pretty comfortable for the Owls. But why not, if you have the opportunity, tack on one more just for good measure. Dos Santos lets it go by, and then it gets put to his feet where he rifles it, bottom left corner, gets the hat trick, and puts this one well out of reach. A celebration for Union Omaha on Fan Appreciation Night. They put on a show, especially in that second half, thanks to Steven Dos Santos. So here are your full-time stats brought to you by the Simple Man. 22 shots for the Owls. Holy smokes. That is a lot of moments generated from this Owls side, 9 on target. The second half was almost entirely in favor of the Owls outside of a couple of brief moments for the Independents. But the fact of the matter is Union Omaha at home are a force to be reckoned with. And guess what? They've got not only one home game, but they could potentially get that bye and host the final should they make it that far. But that's looking too far ahead. We've got another game tonight that you should check out. Central Valley Fuego playing host to the Greenville Triumph. We hope you tune into that one. But if this is the end of your night, for our entire broadcasting crew, I'm Mark Schoenster, saying thank you for tuning in. And we hope you have a fantastic rest of your night. And we'll see you next time on ESPN Plus here in USL League One.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.